Hey folks, the Desert Artist here. I just wanted to give you an update on how I was doing with my steampunk spongebob, or as my wife calls him, gearbob. So let's take a look at how far I have gotten on my gearbob. It's been, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. I've been working on a couple of other projects that were also art related. I can kind of give you an update on those too. So here I am with gearbob, and I've done some more contemplating on exactly what I'm going to do with him, because I don't have any idea. I got the top of a fly reel here, or a trolling reel, and I used that for his hat. And I used the inside of binoculars or little prisms. So what I have done is I have taken one of those lenses and put in here in his hat to give kind of a visual effect, so that when you wave something in front of it, you'll get a reflection. So you have that part of the artistic chemistry put in to the piece. I have his hat so it can move up and down on a hinge, and I just used a door hinge there. I just put the copper wire up here to kind of make it so coming out of his brain and out of his mind was this electromagnetic flux that comes out in the form of sparks and comes out and conducts the electricity that he has. It's also posable. He is fully posable. This here can be his unibrow that's movable. It can go over one eye or the other. I got a little cooler switch here that, and whether he plays cooler or not. I have used a magnifying glass for his monocle, which is fully posable as well. It comes out here and hangs out here on the edge, so he can have it not be using it, and his hat comes down over the top. I have used just a fork and another door hinge, or I guess this is more of like a bracket for a chest or something. I used that for an angle for his arm here, which has pretty good mobility, pretty good posing. You can pose it just about anywhere using the hinge and the back and forth motion. On his other arm here, I have used another fork, and I used an antenna mobility thing, something I dug out of the garbage many years ago, and that is also fully posable, so you can move him wherever he needs to be moved. The arm here can also be used on the other side, if one so chooses. We don't know yet how it's going to go. His guitar, I think I've showed you that before. His guitar is fully posable as well. Can swing up like this. When I used what this was here, was the little arms, the cam that ran the chimes that were in the clock. So I used that for his guitar strings here to so we can tighten them up, and I had used a pressure gauge in the gravy ladle here to, I guess, measure the pressure of his coolness. His side here, I just made him a little ray gun. Of course, this may be temporary. It may get bigger from here, but from right now, I got those two parts that are kind of cool together. They kind of give a little handle and some sort of a little ray gun. It can always get better depending on what I find later. I used a grounding wire clamp for his belt here. My biggest problem with this piece was finding a part for his mouth. His nose was pretty already there. Well, it was just the arms to the clock that ran the arms to the clock, and I found this gear somewhere, and it's made out of copper. So it kind of turns like this, and then it turns another gear that goes inside here. I used another little part here for another eyebrow. I used, I think these are a couple diodes or transistors or transformers for his eyelashes. And then I used, this was a little dial, an aluminum dial that told the temperature or something. I don't remember what it was, but it fit right in there, and that was what I used for the eye. I seem to be pretty much finished with this one perspective of him. I still have a couple possibilities to work with his feet maybe. I have some mobility here with these. I don't know whether they might be antennas or a copper coil or something, but I have two pivoting joints here that can be done, something can be done with. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but the possibilities exist there. I can also remove these, and then I have the bolts to work with. So any one of these things are adaptable. I can also take these off like this and use a bolt here to attach something that would do something with him so far. So I have these options to go from the feet. I don't know what I'm going to do. You can leave suggestions for me of what to do down in the comment box. Let me show you what I've got going on in the back here. I've done a couple adjustments already. I used a fan torch on the top here, and this is a thermostat temperature gauge, I think. So it has a little copper tube that I put in right here, and to measure the flame output for his pyrotechnics display that he'll use while he's playing his guitar. I found this cool valve right here that I'm gonna maybe attach to have him. This was the chime to the clock, so I just attached it to the back here. There was a hole there, so I was able to maneuver his belt to go over the top of that. I have a little bit of room in here in between these screws here, where I forced these screws into the brass. I drilled a hole just big enough for the screws to fit in, and pretty much tapped it as I screwed in. So I have a little bit of room here where I can attach his another set of eyeballs here somewhere. And I see I already have the door hinge here that can serve as a unibrow, and his hat moves back like this so he can tip his hat forward. I'm gonna have to drill a hole in here somewhere to attach a nose, unless I can use a pre-existing hole like this little one here to attach something that would serve as a nose to whether it maybe, who knows what it's gonna be. and maybe something, I have this here that can maybe be something that will strike the bell, that will make a sound or something. I don't know yet, but trying to get all the audio visual type feely, tactile, I mean things that you can play. This is all going to be, I don't know what I'm doing, so there you go. It's a desert artist. There you go. This is a desert artist. I'm out of here.